Okay, here's part 2, page 76. Mrs. Brisbane asked each team questions all about all kinds of things: flowers, books, poetry, sports, animals, but not hamsters, I'm sorry to say, and countries. Nobody knew much about flowers. Everybody knew a lot about animals. Saeed was the best at answering questions about countries. Would you believe there's a country with a capital called Tegucigalpa? I had to write that one down. But Tabitha was best at answering questions about sports. She knew soccer teams, volleyball rules, and golf champions. The boys all seemed amazed. As the quiz went on, there seemed to be more and more questions about sports. Maybe that was the accident, but when Miss Brisbane is involved, things don't usually happen by chance. By the end of the recess period, Tabitha's team had scored 40 points. They could have scored even higher if Kirk hadn't said that the Gettysburg Address was the number on the Gettysburg's family home. Even I know it was a speech written by a famous president. He got a laugh and lost 2 points, but it didn't matter. The next closest team only had 28 points. "We won!" yelled Seth, the team captain. "Way to go!" He high-fived Tabitha, Miranda, and Kirk. "3 cheers for Tabitha," said Miranda. "Hip, hip, hooray! Hip, hip, hooray! Hip, hip, hooray!" I squeaked, jumping up and down for joy. Nobody called her a baby. Even Tabitha looked happy. Unfortunately, Heidi and Gail didn't seem cheered up at all. In fact, while all the tension was focused on Tabitha, I saw Gail mouth "cheater" to Heidi. Heidi stuck her tongue out at Gail. It was enough to make a grown hamster cry. A less sensible hamster than me, of course. "Og, you may not understand me, but if you could, you'd want Heidi and Gail to be friends again, right?" I asked my neighbor once everyone had gone home for the day. I didn't expect him to understand me. I was just thinking aloud. I was amazed to get an answer. Boing! Og jumped straight up and down, over and over again. I didn't know if he had sat on a tack or eaten something that didn't agree with him. "Og, are you all right?" "Boing, boing," he said. "Boing." I jumped up and looked over at him. I was pretty sure he was agreeing with me. "So what are we going to do?" I asked him. "How can we help them?" As abruptly as he began, Og stopped bouncing and boinging and sat as still as a rock, as usual. I was discouraged and puzzled. Either he didn't have any ideas, or he'd given up trying to get me to understand him. I felt we both had failed. Finally, I spoke again. "They sure were good friends." Og stayed silent the rest of the night. Hours later, Aldo arrived. I was still trying to figure out what Google Eyes had been trying to tell me. This was a most peculiar frog. "Good evening, gentlemen. Mind if I join the party?" said Aldo as he flicked on the lights and rolled his cleaning cart into room 26. "Without you, there is no party," I told him. "Speaking of parties, Richie is having a big party for his birthday soon." Repeated please Richie Rinaldi happened to be Aldo's nephew. "It's going to be a very big deal." Since I had never been to one, any birthday party sounded special to me. "They're having entertainment, like a show or something. Hey, you guys want to see my latest trick?" asked Aldo, grabbing his broom. The custodian had already proved his talents to me by balancing his broom on the tip of one finger for a long, long, long time. Once he balanced it on top of his head. This time he threw his head back and balanced the tip end of the broom on his chin for an equally long period of time. When the broom finally wobbled too far, Aldo caught it and took a deep bow. "Bravo, Aldo!" I squeaked as loudly as I could. "Thank you, Humph." He glanced at Og. "What's the matter, Froggy? You don't like tricks?" "It's not you," I said softly. "It's him." Aldo grabbed his lunch and pulled a chair close to my cage. "Aw, it's just a silly trick. I'm not good at anything useful." "Not true," I argued. Aldo took a sandwich out of his bag and began chewing on it. No, Humph, I've been thinking about it a lot. Because of this. He pulled a piece of paper out of his pocket. This is the application for City College. If I want to go there, I have to fill it out. So I wrote my name, address, all that. When I got to the part that asked what I want to study, I got stuck, he explained. I'm practically middle-aged, and I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up. Aldo put down his sandwich and stared at the application. I'm not sure what I'm good at. I thought of being a teacher, but I don't know. Would the kids like me? Am I smart enough to be a really good teacher? Yes, be a teacher, please, I insisted. For once, Aldo didn't seem to hear me. Besides, they want a letter of recommendation from somebody important. Somebody who believes I can succeed, said Aldo. I'll do it, I assured him, but he wasn't paying attention. I'm just not sure. He tossed his lunch bag back into the cart. Don't think I forgot you, pal, he told me as he dropped a small piece of carrot in my cage. Thanks a heap, I squeaked. You're welcome, Aldo replied. At least he understood most of what I said. One thing I understood, it was time for me to take action. And the quote is, never injure a friend, even in jest. That means even when you're joking around. All right, you guys have a great day. Stay tuned for some pork chop adventure stories.